The minutes I spend walking from one part of the office complex to another to get a sparkling water, what I think of as hall time, is typically time where I get good insights. A focus for my mind, while my subconscious mulls over the really important questions in the background. It's precious, valuable time to me. I've made some of my most important breakthroughs walking from one place to another. And right now, I need a breakthrough. Desperately. Half the financial industry is holding their breath, waiting for me to reveal my secret data model, which Wolfric and I refer to as quantum quilt. The other half is praying I'll stumble. Or worse, show up with the kind of mediocre iteration that signals the end of my career. The quantum quilt will be a mediocre iteration over my dead body. The solution is out there, just beyond my reach. What then do I not want to spend my precious hall time minutes on? Wondering why Stella would pretend not to recognize me. Or is it possible she actually didn't recognize me? I had allotted a bit of time for a quick hello, but it's not as if I don't have other uses for that time. Better uses for that time. I breeze past Brenda, blood racing. Maybe she doesn't want people to know she got the job through family connections. And what was so hilarious? Of course, with Stella, something hilarious doesn't need to be happening for her to think things are hilarious. Given the right mood, Stella can find a bloody pair of scissors hilarious. And why does any of this matter? Trying to work out why Stella does anything is as impossible as it is pointless. Brenda spots the envelope in my hand and pops up from her desk, alarmed. Mr. Jones, is there a problem? I could have gone to the courier desk for you. You didn't have to go all the way to admin. There was no problem. I was there. But I was there. I grabbed it. It would have been idiotically inefficient not to. Brenda nods. If there's anything we both hate, it's idiotic inefficiencies. Beyond that, she knows not to question me. Nobody questions me. It's one of the greatest perks of success. The money and the prestige are fine, but the exemption from social interactions and expectations, priceless. I spent a startling amount of my youth practicing smiles in the mirror and copying the way normal kids interacted with each other. The solution, as it turns out, wasn't to level up my social game. It was to become rich and powerful enough to not have to care how I act or what anybody thinks. I storm into my office, which I keep as Spartan as my social life, and throw the thing on my desk. I continue on to the window and flatten my hand to the cool glass, adjusting myself to this strange new reality. Stella. Here at Quantum Partners. The street below bustles with trucks and taxicabs under steel and glass skyscrapers and historic buildings festooned with flags. This uncomfortable sensation of heat blooms in my chest. Lunch at the Korean deli usually doesn't bother me. But Jesus Christ, is this heartburn or what? I sit down and yank open my drawer, rummaging around in the back, grateful my Tums Chewy Bites are still in there. I cram a purple one in my mouth, set the timer that marks the beginning of my focus session, and head over to stare at my whiteboard. I make a few notes. I erase a few notes. I ponder. Anybody can create a data model that predicts the markets when people behave sensibly. The problem is that people can be obnoxiously irrational, constantly operating against their own self-interest. In short, throwing monkey wrenches left and right. Because that is what people do. How do you make a data model that will hold up to monkey wrenches? Or better yet, predict the monkey wrenches? That's my job. And suddenly, here she is, Stella Woodward, the world's greatest monkey wrench.
Butterflies are whirling in my belly, but I give him a stern glare. I am supposedly over Hugo and all Hugo types. The past year have included not only an awesome self-esteem-building career path, if you ignore these past weeks, but also what amounts to aversion therapy to any and all Hugo types. A team of scientists in a top-secret lab orbiting the Earth couldn't design a better course of Hugo aversion therapy protocols than the dating history I have lived since I last set eyes on Hugo. This very painful therapy involved my jumping into relationships, two casual and one serious, with icy, brilliant high achievers with harsh personal standards. In other words, men like Hugo. It's not as if I sought out only Hugo-like men. I'd certainly tried dating nice men who liked me the way I am. But sadly, they didn't do it for me.